Sorry, Miss Adenike, you are muted, so we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry about that. Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. So, we became Techlytics on February 25, 2022. And since then, we have signed up over 800 subscribers in our mailing list. We have completed over 100 lectures and over 30 courses. And we have 153 active students and 296 YouTube subscribers. Please, if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly do so. So the YouTube link will be shared in the message section. So meet those of us working at Techlytics. I'll start with Oluwatayo Wikule, who is the founder and the lead trainer at Techlytics. So she's a banker. She was a banker. She's a product she's a product manager, a data analyst. She's a all-rounder, intelligent woman, and she's the one leading Techlytics. So then we also have Jedida Okonko, who is a product manager. We have Abiodun, who is also a product manager, and myself, the data analyst, and Oreoluwa, who is our social media manager. We also have some our graphic designer, Timothy, that is also part of our team. So this section, this particular masterclass is just a textile section into our upcoming data analytics class, where we are going to be teaching Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power BI, and SQL. So the program is going to run for a total of 10 weeks. That's 10 weekends. And they are going to be learning Power BI, Excel, and SQL. What other things are you going to be learning? Problem-solving skills. You are going to be sure that after the course, you can ace any data analytics job or role or business analytics role. Then you are going to be getting a CPD accredited certificate of completion. And also the icing on the sugar is that we are also going to be learning a soft skill on freelancing masterclass. So this means that after you have learned SQL, Power BI, and Microsoft Excel, we are also going to be teaching you how you can get a freelancing role. What are the things you need to do, and how you go about it. So the cost is for 200,000 naira or $200 or 180 pounds. But for those people that are paying early, if you make your payments before the 16th of March, you are going to be getting a discount of 25,000 naira, which means you can pay 175,000 naira or $175 or 158 pounds. So the deadline for enrollment is on the 3rd of April. So if you want to register for the data school, please help me I'll be dropping the link in the message section so that you can check it out. So let's go to the business that we are here for, which is to learn about customer segmentation in retail, how you can unlock eating pattern in your customers and make data-driven decisions. So in this masterclass, we are going to be learning the concept of customer segmentation. We are going to be identifying the segmentation basis, how can you segment your customers. And we are going to be analyzing and we are going to interpret a data that is a sales data using Microsoft Excel, and we are going to just create basic visualizations. So what is customer segmentation? Before I start, I tell you the definition of what customer segmentation is. Let me relate a story to you. So it's a story of two friends that decided that they wanted to start a bakery, and they've named their bakery Sweet Cravings. So the two of them have been doing a lot of marketing, taking their product to a lot of social media platforms, advertising their product, telling people what they do. But they realized that all those were not yielding anything. It wasn't transforming into profit or more sales for them. So on a particular day, one of them was going through their sales, and she actually realized there was a pattern in the sales, that there is a particular product that is a particular set of people that buy them, and there was a particular product that is another set of people that buy them. So from there, she could understand that, oh, okay, so this is what is happening, and they were able to channel their energy. So that product that let's call them A and B. So the kind of product that the group of people under A are buying, they made sure that they are advertising those products to them, and they took those products to those platforms where they are going to buy it. And the other product, they took it to the sections where they know that, okay, this is where we can find them. So let me just make it clearer. You have an adult and young people and adults buying product. If you bring adult product to a place like TikTok or Instagram, you have taken it to the wrong place, because most likely you not find a lot of old people like our home parents. You are not most likely going to find them there. Their market is for you to take it to Facebook. That is where we know they all you can find them on the social media. But when you talk about young adults, like young professionals, you can be sure that you find them on Instagram, on TikTok, and the likes. So basically, that is what customer segmentation is all about. All right, please let me know if you can still hear me, because I can hear an echo of my voice.
Yes, we can hear you. Also, the echo. I think maybe you just have to do something
Okay.
to your audio. Yeah, we can hear you,
All
but
right, just
also an echo.
okay. I understand why that is happening. Let me mute one of them. So how about now? Can you hear me? Now?
Same of the same.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
All right. So customer segmentation is just the process of grouping your customers based on their common characteristics. So it's a strategic approach used in retail and other industries to categorize customers into distinct groups, segments based on their shared characteristics. So what is the benefit of customer segmentation? Why is it important for you to segment your customers? Number one is that, just like I have said from the story I related earlier on, it's going to give you an improved marketing effectiveness. It's going to make your marketing effort effective because you are channeling your effort into the right direction. Then also, you can tailor your product offering based on the unique demands and preferences of each segment. Also, it enhances customer service. So the way you are going to serve customer A that belongs to a particular segment is going to be different from the way you are going to serve customer B that belongs to another segment. Imagine your high profile customer. Those kind of customers, the way you receive them is different from the way you receive customers that are just, so you give them more priority. So that's just one of the things that customer segmentations do for us. So overall customer segmentation unlocks the potential for retailers to operate more strategically, making informed decisions that lead to enhanced customer experiences, improved operational efficiency, and increased profitability, which is one of the major reasons for setting up a business. So what are the different types or bases in which you can segment your customers? I'm just going to glance through this. So the first one is the demographic segmentation. So this is when you segment customers based on their gender. So you want to know male and female. What do male want? What do female want? Based on their age, based on their income brackets, their educational level, their occupation, marital status. So that is when you are segmenting your customers based on their demographics. So then you can also segment your customers based on their geography. That's majorly their location. So their country, their state, their city, or even their neighborhood. You want to know, oh, are people in this particular place, are they buying more than people in this particular place? What are they really buying? So that you can actually focus your attention on what really matters. Then their psychographic segmentation. This basically means their interest, their lifestyle, what they really like. So you want to know what your customers like, and you can segment them that, oh, these are the customers that like bread. These are the customers that like cookies. These are the customers that like oats, what's it called? Wheat bread. You know that, oh, it's adults that like wheat bread, old people. So young people would like more of sweet things. And so you can actually segment based on that. Then you have behavioral segmentation. So this is based on the customer's behavior related to the product. How often do they buy these products? Their loyalty pattern, their purchase pattern, and the benefits that they are looking for. So these are the different ways in which you can segment your customers. So that being said, we are now going to move into our data set, and we are going to start to see how we can segment our customers. Please let me know if you can still see my screen. All right, thank you. So this is our data set. Thank you very much. This is our data set. So it's a sales data, and this data set, let me move to the header. All right, so in this data set, we have a lot of columns, and I'm going to be explaining what each column means one after the other. Though we are not going to be using all the columns in the data set for this masterclass, but we are going to be making some of it. So we have the order ID. So this order ID is the order that is being generated into your own backend system, or your as a data analyst, or your client backend system. So every time a customer walks into your store to make an order, there is a unique order ID that is being generated. So if you notice, in cell 2 and 3, the order ID is the same thing, and the customer name is also the same thing. So that means this order ID belongs to this customer. Then the order date is the date that the customer made the order. The ship date is the date that the company shipped the order. Then the ship mode is through which means they sent the order. So this one is second. There's a type of ship mode called second class, first class, standard, and the rest. Then the customer ID is the unique ID of the customer. Then this is the customer name. The customer type. So is the customer a consumer customer, an home office customer, a corporate customer? Then the sales rep. Is the person an organic rep or an employee of the customer? Then the sales team. What team do they belong to? Then the sales team manager. The company have different managers for different sales rep. Then the location ID of the customer, the city where the customer is buying from, the state, the postal code of the customer. So all is the customer from the south, the west, the central region, or the north. Then the product ID, this is the identification code of the product they are buying. The category. So these are company basically deals with furniture, office supplies, and technology. Then the subcategory. So these are the subcategories of this thing. Then sales, how much the customer bought, the quantity of what the customer bought, was the customer given a discount, and the profit that the customer and the company realized from this sale. So from these data sets, we can see that some of the customer segmentation have already been done in this data set. So, and one of it is like the customer type. The data set has already told us the different types of customer type that we have. We also have we have information about their city, their region, as also we have information about that. Those are some of the segmentations that have been done for us, and the subcategories too, and the category. So, but there are still more segmentations that can be done from this data set. And
Sorry, I didn't get. I think you are not. We can't hear you at the moment.
oh,
You're
I
mute
am
at the
so
moment.
sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
All right, so I've said a lot of things, but I'll just go back a bit. So I was talking about the data set, that our data set have 9,995 rows. So is quite a lot of data. So if you don't make use of analytical tools, you are not going to make any, you cannot even think of anything from this data set. You just look at it as figures and some words that are just together. So you really can't make any sense from it. So for you to make sense of this data, or to segment your data, or to even know what is happening with your customer, you have to use some analytical tools to work on this. So for this section, we are going to be making use of Power Pivot, and we are going to be making use of the ifs function in Microsoft Excel. So, but for now, let's just start with Power Pivot. So to use Power Pivot, I'm very sorry, Pivot Table, I mean, not Power Pivots. So Pivot Table. To use Pivot Table, what do you need to do? So there is really nothing much to do. The first thing you have to do first is to make sure that, let me remove the filters so that I will not be confused, is to make sure that you first convert your data into a table. So how do you convert a data into a table? So just click on anywhere in your data set and press, you can come to insert here. There are a lot of ways to convert your data into a table. You can come to insert and click on table, or you simply press Ctrl T. So let me go through this. You can see it's telling you create table. Where is the data for your table? So automatically Excel has picked my table. Remember I told you the data has 9,995 rows. You can see it's picking from A to the A1 to W9995. So that means it has captured our entire data set. And please don't forget to always check that your my table has headers, so that it can recognize your headers. Then you click OK. You can see that our data has changed. So our data is now in a tabular form. It's now in a table form. So you can name your data. So you can name your table. How do you name your table? You see here by your left hand side where my cursor is, where you have table name, just name your data. So at my table, I want to name my table sales TB Health, and you click enter. So Excel has already given this table a name. There is much more about naming tables and naming ranges, which is not the focus for this class, but that is just what is necessary for you to know for this particular class. So afterwards, before you use pivot table, there are some things that are very, very important. Number one, you have to make sure that your data set is clean. You prepare your data set. So this clean data set, I can tell you that. Then also make sure that you don't have empty rows or any inconsistencies in your data. If you like, you also make sure you format your data and make sure it's in the right format. So after which you have done that, you can now create your pivot table. So how do you do it? Just click anywhere within your data range and come to the Insert tab here. This is the Insert tab. Click on it and you can see here Pivot Table. Just click on it. The moment you click on it, it's already telling you that table range. You can see that the name I gave my table is already picking up. So Excel has recognized that, oh, okay, this is the table I want to work on. So, and it's asking me, would I want to place my pivot table in a new sheet, or I would like to place it in an existing worksheet. This is a very large data set. So placing it in an existing worksheet would just make my work to be very, 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 very cumbersome and not neat. So I'll create new worksheet. So I click OK. So this is my pivot table environment and I can start my analysis. So just like I said earlier on, there have been some segmentations that have been done for us. So I would like to take this, I would like to ask members of the class to just tell us what are the things, just start thinking about it. What are the things you think based on the segmented data that we have in our data set before we now create our own segment? What are the things you think we can look at? So while you think about that and I wait for your response, I'll keep talking about the pivot table environment. So this is what the pivot table looks like. And majorly, these are the 4 fields that are very, very important for you to know. This is the filter field, the column field, the row field, and the value field. So I'm going to explain it one after the other. And I'm going to also show us anyway. So the filter is for you to filter your data. So for example, let me look for an example. I want to filter my data based on the category. So this is the category, and you just come to your fields and pick category. You can come here and check it, or you type it, or you can drag it. So I'll be dragging it. The moment you press down your mouse, and you can just drag it down. So this is the category. What's happening? Okay. So, okay. So this is my category. So I want to filter it, so I can bring it here. Then maybe based on my regions, I want to know what they are buying in each regions. I bring my regions to my row section. So anything you put on the row, anything you put in the rows field is going to be under the row, just like we have it here. Anything you place under the category is going to come up under the filter, I mean. So that means you can filter your data here. You can see these are the 3 categories that we have, and you can just filter them out from here. Then the values, let's look at the sales. So automatically, Excel is telling us that in our data set, everyone in the central region, the total number of sales that they made is, let me format my data, is 501,239,000. So we can also format this, and if you want to make it in currency mode, you can put it in Naira if you want. So let's come to your number and currency. Yeah. So it's already telling us that, okay, in the central category, we have 501,239,000 Naira. We've made sales, but this is actually not meant to be in Naira anyway. It's meant to be in dollars because our data is from the United States. So then I'm just trying to use it to explain. Then for the filtering this thing, so you might want to know how much is the furniture giving you. So you just come here and click on the furniture. So if you want furniture and office, you can click the two together. If you want all, you select all. If you want just a particular one, you uncheck and pick the one you want. So let's see the furniture. So from here, you can see that, oh, in the central region, I've made a sales of $163,797 or pounds or euros or naira. Then in the east, this is what I have made. In the south, this is what I have made. So from here, you can actually make your decisions and see what your customers are doing. So let me give an example again. And also, the way this data is, you can see 500 is coming first, 725 is down, 391 is in the middle. So it's not well sorted. So you can also decide to sort your data. So how do you come there? How do you do that? Just come to where you have your filter symbol, just here, click it down and come to value filters. So you can use this if you have a lot of data sets, but for this particular one, it's just 4. So we can just sort. So you can just come here on your value tab, or where you have any of your cell where you have your values, then you come to sort. So it will ask you, do you want to sort from smallest to largest or from largest to smallest? Then you can sort from largest to smallest. So from here, you already know that, oh, out of all the regions where I'm operating or where my client is operating, it is the West region that is giving us the highest amount of sales. So you can also, still based on this data set, you can also move ahead and say, okay, let me know, the fact that they are making a lot of sales, does their sales relate to profit? So you might want to know, you don't have to start from the beginning. All you have to do is just to come here where you have your profit, just drag your profit down and drag it to the values. So you can see that you have your profits. So very good. The same way West is giving us the highest sales is also giving us the highest profit. So that is how pivot table works. It helps you to aggregate your data set. It helps you to bring together. So everything we have in this data set has been summarized. Everything we have in this data set as it relates to your region, your sales, and your profit, have just been summarized into a very just how many lines tables. So, and you can make decisions from there. So I want to know, just like I have said, can you think of any or other segmentation that we can do that has been done for us before we now segment by ourselves? Can you think of any other one? I would like to hear from you based on the data we have. So if you want me to show all the data sets, I can show you. So this is what we have. So based on the segmentation that has been done for us, do you think there is any other decision we can make for our clients, or any other insight you can get from our data sets?
Yes, we can also look into the city. I mean,
Okay.
we can also look into what value each city brings per location.
All right. So we want to look at the location. Okay.
Yeah, because the cities in each region.
Okay. So let's come here. We can, instead of us to open another pivot table, we can just work on this one. If we don't need the category, just drag it out. It's gone. Then we want to talk about the city. We don't need the region again. We'll click it out and come back to our fields to select our city. So we have our cities here. Then we want to check their sales and their profit based on the city. So, and the good thing is that you can also rename these row labels. You can change it to city. You can change this to sales, or you can just edit it to whatever you want to edit it to. So it's editable. So these are the summary of everything that was done in each of these cities. So just like I said the other time, these are a lot of information. So you might want to know, your top city in terms of sales. You want to summarize it based on the city that is giving you, or your top 10 cities. So you just come to where you have your filter button, click down on it and come to value filters. Then you see a lot of questions you can ask from here. You might want to know equals to, do, or any other between, or anything you want to know. So you can click on top 10 because we want to know our top 10 cities. So, and if you want to know the bottom, you can also click on bottom, but you want to know the top. Then you want it in terms of, is it items or the sum, or so let's just leave it as the item. Then you are actually sorting based on their sum of sales. So if you want to sum based on their profit too, you can just click it here. But let's start with their sales first. So you click OK. So you can see what has happened. Your data has given you an information that you might not even just look at ordinarily. So you have Chicago, so these are your top 10 cities. So also you can still go ahead. What am I in? You want to know how they perform, maybe in ascending order or in descending order. So let's sort from largest to smallest. You come here, just click on your value and come to sort, and you sort from largest to smallest. So you can see that New York City is giving us, so that let me change this to dollars anyway, because it's funny that I'm coming just a minute. Okay, yeah. So from your data, you can already see that it's New York City that is giving you the top sales. So in terms of profit, we are not checking profit, but we can also check profit. So if you want, if you are given a stakeholder this report, you will not be giving them just this tabular report that, oh, this is my report. So you can also go a bit ahead and give them in a visual, so that even a 5-year-old boy or girl can say, oh, okay, is this one that is the tallest? Is this one that is the biggest or the largest? So basically, that's what your visualizations do for you. It makes interpreting your data set easier for you. So just like we have been doing, just click anywhere here in between your data set and come to insert and insert a pivot chart. Yeah, so you can pick any type of chart that you want. So let's use a column chart for this. So here is it. So from here, without speaking too much, you can see how your business is performing. So you can say, oh, okay, people in the New York City are the one buying. So, we can take this analysis further. We can say, oh, what are they buying? So if you want to see that, it doesn't really take anything from us. It's just for you to add to your field here, the category, and you're going to be seeing what they are actually buying in these cities, so that you can actually think, oh, okay, in New York, it's technology that is selling. It is the furniture or the home office items that are selling. So you can make your chart better. You can remove all these to make it wider. You can remove your grid lines to make it look better. You can use your own customized colors. You can change the colors. You can change the title. So which is not, today's class is not for visualization, but I'm just telling you what else you can do. You can make this into a dashboard. You can create a dashboard from this, that everything, all your visualization will be just in the page, and you can present it to your management. So from here, we can see that, oh, it's New York City that is giving us the highest money. And also the profits. How is that profit? You can see how it is. So one very interesting thing is that you see here from these data sets, see this Philadelphia, they are making money. They are making sales, but their profit is nothing to write home about. So as a business owner or as a data analyst, some of the questions you'll be asking yourself is to deep down into why despite the fact that they have high sales, why are they not making profit? So you can now go back to your data set, check the items they are buying, what's happened, why are they making losses, and you can try to make decisions from there, and also inform your clients that, oh, even though these people are making money, they are not giving you profits. They are making sales, but they are not giving you profits. So at the same time, you might want to know, what are the ones, what city are we investing? We have a lot of branches there, we have staffs there, we have we are making promotional materials, marketing, but they are not bringing in anything. So you can come down here and check the bottom. So just come here and go to the bottom and see the bottom 10 cities. And you can see one very funny and interesting thing about this thing is that the moment I change my power pivot, my visualization changed. My visualization changed. Let me close this so that you can see better. So my visualization changed. So it's telling me that I can also sort this, largest to smallest. Okay. So it's telling me that, or let's say smallest to largest here, so that we can really see what is happening. All right. So we can see that Abilene is making the lowest sales, and also we are making loss in most of these cities. So you can now, if you actually want to stay in those cities, you can think about it. Okay, what can we do better? How can we make more profit? Who are the sales rep there? Are they making sales? Is there any problem with the ship and all the order date and the ship date? So are there any problem with shipping mode? So all these are all the questions you can answer based on this data set. But because this is just probably a 1 hour section or 1 hour 30-minute section, we cannot dive down into some of these things. I'm just telling you, if you have a hold of this data set, some of the things you can do with it. So basically, that is one way you can segment your customers based on the information that you have at your fingertips. That is based on the information you have in your data set. But let's now assume that some of these information are not available. You want to know, who are your frequent buyers? Who are those customers that come into your stores regularly? Who are your high target customers, your high profile customers that you should focus your attention on? Who are your customers that brings in the highest sales? Or you want to just categorize these customers based on how much orders they make, or how much sales they bring to your company, or how much profit they bring into your company, so that you can attend to them based on this, or what category of things they are buying, just like we of products they are buying, just like we have here. We can also see for the categories. So let me come to my field. Okay, so I can also come here to see, this is a category. So let's just say all I want to see is my profit. So this is it. So if I also want to visualize this based on the categories of the customer of my product, I can also do a visual of it. Come to insert a chart. So let me do a pie chart. Okay, let me pick a donut chart and I click OK. So we can actually edit this to show the data labels. Let me do that. If I want to see the figures, I can also customize this. If I don't want to see it the way it is, I don't like the way it's looking now, but this is, like I said, this is not a visualization class. So just looking at this, you can tell that, oh, it is the furniture category that is bringing in the lowest profit, and your highest profit is coming from the technology category, and the office supplies is also doing well. So these are some of the things you can do. So back to what I was saying, that we should create our own, we should segment our customers by ourselves. So this is based on what has been done for us in the information we have in the data set. So we can still make use of this pivot table field or this worksheet, but I would like us to use another worksheet. So for people that are just joining us can know how we got here. So I can go back to my data sets, just click anywhere in it, just like I have said earlier on, come to insert and insert a pivot table. So it's still our sales data. So click OK. So yeah, we have a new pivot environment. I can rename it and call it segmentation. So let's segment our customers based on the kind of the sales they bring to the company. So, and now we want to drill it down into individual customers. So there are two things you can use. You can use your customer ID, and you can also use your customer name to segment your customers based on their sales. But since we have the customer name and we can segment using the customer name, I would just suggest we use the customer name. So just like I said, you move your customer name into your role field. Anything you put on the column, you are going to see it on the columns. It's going to appear on the columns like this. Then anything you put on your row field is going to appear on your rows. So then you still come here again. Let me use the other method. I can come here, values. Then I want to impute my sales. So I can say sales and keep my sales here. So it's telling me that Heron Bergman, he has made a total sale of $886. So I might also want to know the profits. So I can just type it here to profits and drag it or just click it, and I have it here. So what else would I want to know? I want to know the frequency of how frequent they make orders. And like I said, if you want to know how frequent they make order, you are going to be using the order ID, because that is the ID they register into the system every time the customer comes into the store. Please, are we still together? Am I too fast? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you have any question? Please, I would like to hear your feedback before I proceed. All right, Folashade, you are raising your hand. Please ask your question.
Good evening.
Hi, Folashade.
And thanks for the class.
You
are just talking about the frequency. Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, so you were just talking about the frequency. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Please go on.
So I was thinking, because the customers have like, from what I saw in the data set, I see a customer having like 2 or 3 purchases. Are you going to do the frequency based on the purchase or based on the dates the purchase was actually made? Because of course, if I go to a store, I might just pick up 10 items. And it's still the same order ID. They're all the same order ID.
Okay, I understand I understand what you are saying. That you are looking at it that, okay, this particular customer came into the store and just bought 2 quantity, right? And he came the other time again and he bought 3 based on the quantity, right? Is that what you are saying? And another customer came in just once in a week and bought 20.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
So I get to base the frequency on, because it's okay, no problem.
On
Thank
the quantity
you.
they are buying. All right. So you are saying that am I basing the frequency on the quantity they are buying or the number of times they come into the store? Is that your question?
Yes, the number of times they come into the store, not the quantity, because I can come into the store now and buy 2 items of sugar, 2 items of whatever, based on the same day in this as in at the same time. But I think it's reading individually. Am I wrong?
Yes, what I'm saying is that each customers, as they come in, there's an okay. Let's assume that we all visit the same store. So for Shade, you already have an ID. So if you visit the store in the morning, do you understand? They will
Yeah.
impute your name and it will capture your order day. If you still go back in the evening, they will still impute the order day. It will still capture that this is the second time of entering the store for that day, and it will still capture your name. If you still go back at night again, so it will make it 3 times that you have visited the store in that particular day. So now the question you are asking as regards the quantity. So let's assume that the things you now bought in your 3 visits were just 6. And I went into the store and in just my one buying, I've bought maybe 100 items or 50 items. How do we classify that? Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, something similar. Based on the, can you please go to the order ID? Let me see the order ID.
All right.
Can you please scroll to the order ID?
Can you see it?
Yes, like you can see the number 2 and 3, they have the same order ID. That means the guy purchased at the same time, but they are reading differently based on different items.
Yes. If you look at it, let's deep down into it. It's even on the same day.
Yes, same day, same order ID.
Yes. So they are buying from the same category, but they are buying different things.
So,
he bought chairs and he bought book cases. You understand?
Yes.
So he's actually capturing it based on what you buy.
Okay, not based on order ID, like.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to just say is that he's identifying that particular customer.
Okay.
So let's assume the same customer still bought phone. He's still going to create the order ID.
Yeah.
So invariably, he's still creating like how many, I don't know, how many items you are buying.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Understand
I understand based on what you just explained.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So you're welcome. So we just insert a pivot table just like we did in the other time. So we are using a new workbook and we are here. So just like I said, we can either use we were even working on it already before we went back. I'm trying to look for it. Okay, it should be inside sheet 5. All right. So we'll be using the customer name. We can use the customer ID, but the thing with the customer ID is that when you now want to make decision, you now start thinking, okay, who is the customer, this and that. So let's just use the customer name directly. So I put my customer name in my row fields. Then I come down, I pick what I want to check, which is my sales. So you can just type it in or just drag it down to look for it. Excuse me. So it's giving us the total sales. Then I can also click on my profit. I want to know the profit. So that each customer is giving me. Then let's now count the frequency of how often the customer enters the store. So I'll put in my order ID. And this time around, I'm counting my order ID. If you realize the other ones, you have the sum, and this one you have the count. Let me just, okay. So there are some other things you can do from here. If you like, you can work on each of these. If you want to change the value field, you can just come down here, value fields. You can decide you want to do the sum, the count, the average, the maximum, the minimum, the product, anything you want to do. So we have a lot of mathematical or formulas here, functions that you can choose from. But for these analysis, we are only working on the sum for our sales and profits, and we'll be working on the counts for our order. So you click OK. So you click OK. So now you have your row label, your name, your customer, the total sum, the count of ID, and the sum of profits. For me, what I do basically is when I'm working like this, because I have further mathematical analysis I want to perform. Any formula I input here is going to be working for me as if I'm still in the pivot region. So what I do basically to avoid not to be confused is that these are the information I have, and these are what I want to use to segment my customer for now. So I can just copy my information, all the data I have here. Happening. So let me copy again. So yeah, make sure you are pasting as a value. You have different paste options. Don't just paste, because if you just paste, you are still pasting the same thing. Just paste as values. So click OK. So the way it is, you have your data in your raw form again. And you can rename these as customer name. Where you have row labels, you can change it to customer name. You can change your sum of sales to total sales. You can change your count of order to you can change it to total order. And sum of profit to total profits. Yeah, so you've renamed everything. It's best practice when you are doing data analysis to work with tables. So I'm converting my data set to tables. Just like I said earlier on, to convert your data to table, just press Ctrl T and OK. So your data set is in tables. So now we want to come to the real segmentation. Now let's look at our sales. We have our sales between, this is 4.883. Let's convert everything to dollars. Let's convert this to dollars. To your own currency. Changing my currency to dollars. Then these two. Yeah. So we have our currency between $4 to, let's look at the last one, to 2. Okay, our total is there. We can remove it. We could have removed that from our pivot table, actually. It's possible to do that. So let's remove this grand total. We don't need it. All right. So you can see that you have your from $4 to $25,000. That's your sales. So you can decide on how you want to segment your sales. So for me, I want to segment this data that anybody that have a sales of 10,000 and above, I want to classify that customer as high sales. So that means the customer belongs to the group of people with high sales. So any customer that is making a sales of between 9,999, that's less than 10,000, to 5,000. Any sales between 10,000 and 5,000. So that means below 10,000 to 5,000. We'll call that customer moderate sales or medium sales, or any other name you want to call it. You are free to do that. Then any customer that is making sales below 5,000, that customer will classify it as low sales. You can go as far as you want to go, and you can choose any segmentation you want to choose for your customer. Then for my order, I can decide that any customer making orders that is greater than 15, that person is a frequent customer, like it makes frequent order. Then any customer or I order, any name you want to call it. So any customer making orders below 15 but is greater than 6, I can call that customer like a medium order customer or a or regular order or something. Just find any name that suits you to call the customer. Then any customer making order that is below 6, yeah, the order is few or low. So then for my profit, I can also segment my profits and say, oh, just based on the data set I have, any customer making above $5,000 is an highly profitable customer. Any customer that is giving us profit of between less than 5,000 but greater than 1,000, that customer, will call the customer a profitable customer. So this my customer is profitable. Then we can say any customer that is bringing between 1 or 0 to 1,000 profit dollar profit, we can say this customer is giving us marginal profit. Then we have some customers that are actually bringing losses. They are not bringing profits, but they are giving us losses. So we'll calculate those, we categorize those ones as low profit. So let's get started with this. I want to be sure that we understand this before I continue. Hello, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, can you please repeat your question?
I said, do you understand the segmentation I have done before I now start segmenting them?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. So we can actually segment using the Excel function ifs, because we have different segments. If it's just 1 or 2 segments, we can just use the regular if, but we are going to be using ifs. Then you can also use conditional formatting if you like, but for this particular masterclass, we'll be using the ifs function. So I'll start with the sales. So I'll call this column sales category or sales segments. Sorry. So based on this, I'm actually segmenting my customers based on their behavior. That's how they buy. So I'll just come into my tab. And one thing about working with tables is that when you are working with tables, the good thing is that the moment you get one answer, the remaining populate. So there's another concept I would have liked to tell us about, but because of our time, I might not be able to go that, is the name ranges, which means naming our ranges. So we can just decide that we want to name these ranges, and the moment we are writing our formulas, it will make our formulas more readable. So we can decide to name all this column B. We can name it total sales. Name all column A. We can name it customer name. Name column C total order, and name column D profit. But because of our time, I will not be going into that. I will just be using their regular Excel names. So they are cell names to call them. So from here, if you want to write any formula in Excel, you start with an equal to. There are different ways of writing formulas. You can use equal to, or come to your formulas and pick the particular formula you want to use. But I'll be using the equal to make the explanation easier. So I'll click on equal to, then ifs. That's what the formula I want to use. And I press down my tab button to lock in the formula. So what ifs means is that you are going to check inside this data set, you want to check different logical explanations that, oh, if in my data you see anybody with 5,000 and above profit, classify that person as so. If you see the person, after you have finished checking that, anybody that has this range, classify them as this till you finish all your categories, and it's going to segment or classify your customers based on those categories. So let me start with the sales. And I said for the sales, I want to categorize them as 10,000 and above to be high sales, then 5,000 to be moderate, and less than 5,000 to be low sales. So what you will do is that you will now say if, and you come to your sales. It said logical test 1. So, okay, I think I named this cell already. You can see it's telling me total sales. So if total sales is greater, you now put it's telling you, you are writing your logical function. So you are going to write the value, which is 10,000. You impute your comma. Excel is now asking you, so what happens if I find anybody, any of this data that is over, what is the value if this thing is true? What should I do? You now tell Excel that it should exchange inside your column, put it as I sales. So this is what you do. And when you are writing in text, like ABC and the rest in Excel, you have to put it inside a quote. That is how Excel will recognize it. So you open a quote and put in I sales. Then you close your quote. Then you press your comma. Excel is still asking you logical test 2. That means you should move on. You now still tell Excel that, okay, if still this same my total sales is greater than 5,000. So greater than 5,000, what should I do? You tell Excel that, okay, register this person as moderate sales. Then you press your comma. Excel is asking you that, okay, what next should I do? Logical test 3. That's why it's called ifs. So what's the next thing you still say, if this my total sales is now less than 5,000, return low sales. And make sure you close it. Then you close your brackets and press your enter. So you can see that it has actually categorized and segmented your customers based on the values that you have given, or based on the segmentation you have given. So let's go to the profit. I'll just take the sales and the profit. Then I'll quickly do one visual so that we can round up, because we are ahead of the time. Is almost the time for the masterclass is almost up. So let's do for profit. When you are receiving the replay of this section, we are going to be attaching this data set to you. So if you want to work on it, if you want to send it back to us for us to evaluate it or anything, you can actually do that, and we'll be glad to look at it. So if you want to pick more segments from your data set to show that you really understand what we have learned today, we'll be glad to look at it. So profit category is still the same thing that we have done. So just say equal to, where is our profit? Sorry, ifs, I mean. Equal to ifs. Press your tab button to lock it down. You come to your profit. So you say if your profit is greater than 5,000, categorize my customer as highly profitable. Then close this. Then logical test 2. If my total profit is greater than 1,000, classify my customer as profitable. Then you can say if my profit is greater or equals to 0, greater or equal to 0, classify my customer as marginal profits. And finally, if my profit is less than 0, classify my customer as no profits, or call it any other name that you want. So you close it, close your bracket and hit enter. So it has successfully classified our customers for us. So you can do the same thing for the total order. It's just the same thing we have done here. Just make sure that you pick your segment. So from here, you might want to just visualize what you have done and see how you are working. So just come here, come to your insert tab and just insert a pivot chart. So segment, let's name it. Okay. Sorry. Just insert your pivot charts. All right. So we have, so the data we have here now is not our entire data set. It's just our segmented data set. So from here, I want to know which of my customers is giving me money. Now I want to know the customer by name. So I come to my role or my categories, then I put in my customer name, then profit category. Sorry. Coming. Come to my customer name. I come to profit. Coming. Let me first check my let me start with my profit category. Okay, let me take out some of this. Okay, I have my profits category already. Then I can still put in my total sales. So I can see the percentage of my customers that are highly profitable, just 5% of them. But what I really want to see is the names of those customers. So let me just do that. So I can come here, customer name. I can filter by, let me filter by profit category, okay? All right, so I can come here and just click and select that I only want to see my highly profitable customers. And you see what has happened. Excel has classified my customers and gave me their names. So I can even sort it that I want to know from largest to smallest. So I can say, okay, this Tamara Chand is the most profitable customers that I have. So you know that, oh, these 5 top customers, they are the one bringing in, you know, the 80-20 rules. They are the one bringing in the majority of the profit that we are generating in our company. And the same way, you can also look at it and say, okay, let's look at the sales segments. You can put the sales segment here, throw this away, and put, you want to see the numbers here. Then you can also pick which customer is giving you the highest sales. So here they are. So these are your high sales customers. And if you like, you might want to see the top 10, your top 10 customers in terms of sales. Just come here to come to value filter, top 10, and you have them and you have their names. So basically, what this is trying to tell us is that if you want to, so you can now look at it and create a bucket for these customers that, oh, these are my high sales customer, these are my customers that are bringing medium sales, and these are the customers that are bringing the lowest sales. And from there, you can start segmenting your customers based on that, based on any information you have, using these just very simple steps. And if you want to visualize, just like I've said, this is not a visualization class, but these are just one of the simplest visuals that you can do. So that is where I'm going to be stopping my class for today. Just like I have said, this is just the taster section of our upcoming data analytics class that is starting on the 6th of April. 2024. And in that section is not only Microsoft Excel we are going to be teaching. We are going to be teaching Microsoft Excel. We are going to be teaching SQL. We are going to be teaching Power BI. And we are also going to be taking you through freelancing mastery, where you can learn how you can become a freelancer. The cost is just for 200,000 naira, but if you pay early, you can have a discount of 25,000 naira. We also have installment payments option where you can pay 2 times. So that is also available for you. So at this point, I would like to know if anyone have any question. I really thank you so much for listening to me and for giving me your attention. Thank you very much. And I will be glad to take any questions that you will have. Any question, please? Do you have any question, please? Just say yes, no, I understand, it was clear, I didn't understand. Just say something. All right, Folashade, please go for it.
Thanks a lot. I was well understood. It was nice. Thank you. But I want to ask.
All right.
You decided to just segment based on customers, right? Can you segment based on like location and all those other stuff?
Yes,
all
you
those
can.
Others. Okay.
Yes, you can. And you can segment based on location and based on their sales too. You can say, oh, those people, but that has quite been done for us kind of anyway, because they already gave us the location. And that was what I did in the first sheet I created. Let me show you again. Yeah. You see, this is one of the things I did. Let me take this off so that you can see it. When I try to segment based on the city. So you can also segment based on the states, on the location, on them, anything, gender. So this is where I got to know my top 10. Let me close this so that we can see well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So where we arranged based on our city.
Sorry, we can't see your screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I stopped sharing my screen. Let me share again. Sorry. Let me share my screen again. Yeah, you can see it now.
Yes.
All right. So you can segment. So from here now you can say, oh, so it's New York that is giving us the highest profit. Is okay, Los Angeles is also doing well. You can know the cities that are doing well, the cities that are not doing well. You can even know based on your own staff. So if you want to check based on your staff, you can just also analyze based on your staff. Know that, oh, what is this particular staff doing? And you have so let me just show you that. Okay, sales rep. So these are your sales rep. So you can see organic. Oh, so these are even people that the organic are probably all these affiliate marketing and the rest. So and your own staff, you can see that. So you can actually make more decision based on this. So you can actually just walk through your data and bring out anything you want to bring out of it. That is why one of the basic skill of a data analyst is that critical thinking skills and problem solving skills. So you can also do that. Have I answered your question, please?
Yes, thank you so much. You did.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. If there is no any other question,
Is it me? I can't hear Adenike again.
Not only you, I can't hear.
Okay, Adenike, if you can hear us, we can't hear you anymore. Well, let me attempt to close the meeting for everybody. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining the meeting. We will, once the recording is ready, we'll share the recording with you, and you can also check our YouTube channel from time to time. We typically host the replay on YouTube. Thank you so much for making the session participative, Fola, Dennis, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, and bye.
Thank you too. Abiodun, thank you so much. Bye. Orolua, thank you. We'll talk later. Abiodun, I'll call you on WhatsApp.